рикиши. Перед боем рикиши показывают, что они безоружны и готовы к борьбе. Сейчас в мире всего около 900 рикиши. После турниров производится переоценка каждого из них. Новый титул приносит обладателю все более высокие почести и привилегии. Вершину пирамиды составляют чемпионы, а на вершине находится якодзуна, великий чемпион. Мало кто удостаивается чести носить пояс якодзуна. Это пожизненный титул, но если его обладатель будет проигрывать, то ему придется покинуть сумо навсегда. Церемония открытия турнира включает в себя ритуальный танец якодзуны. Сейчас его исполнит великий чемпион акибона. На нем надет красивый пояс, который так и называется – якодзуна. Отсюда и название великого чемпиона. В истории сумо акибона всего лишь 64-й рикиши, удостоившийся права надеть этот пояс. Акибона родом с Гавайских островов. Сейчас сумо, сугубо национальное японское единоборство, стало захватывать другие страны. «15 лет назад всех удивил своей победой на Кубке Императора другой гавайец, Таканаяма. Но великим чемпионом не удавалось ранее стать ни одному иностранцу, и акибона оказался первым. Вот так проходило то прошлогоднее сражение, после которого акибона получил звание якодзуны и пояс якодзуна. Он выиграл тогда 2 кубка подряд. И теперь на этом турнире акибона собирается защитить свой титул великого чемпиона, иначе ему придется покинуть сумо. Сейчас в Японии проходит 6 турниров в год. 3 из них в столице Японии Токио, 1 в Нагое, другой в Осаке и финальный турнир в Фукуоке. Следующие 15 дней здесь не будет смолкать гул стадиона. 15 дней рикиши будут бороться за право обладания Кубком Императора и за получение очередного звания чемпиона. И только один будет просто пытаться сохранить свой высокий титул, чтобы остаться в сумо. 22-летний Таканахана, один из 4 озеки, выступающих на Кубке Императора. 5 предыдущих турниров уже покорились ему, и теперь, в случае победы, Таканахана станет великим чемпионом. Отличительная черта этого рикиши – то, что он никогда не отступает назад. И если однажды он продвинулся вперед, то уже не уступит своему сопернику ни шага. И сейчас он оттолкнул своего соперника к краю круга и просто-напросто, подхватив его, переставил за край. Последний турнир для Таканаханы закончился полным триумфом. Он не проиграл ни одной схватки и победил со счетом 15-0, посвятив свой успех старшему брату, который не выступал тогда из-за травмы. На его счету уже 7 побед и ни одного поражения. А это его брат Ваканахана, оправившийся после болезни и решивший попытать свои силы на этом турнире. Он старше Таканаханы на год, но пока не добился таких успехов, как младшенький. Тщательно, очень тщательно настраиваются на схватку оба бойца. Но схватка заканчивается в какую-то долю секунды. Ваканахана проигрывает. из-за великолепной стратегической хитрости его соперника. Отличительная черта рикиши – их невозмутимость. Угадать после схватки, кто из них победил, а кто покидает дохио с позором, практически невозможно. Еще один иностранный азеки – гавайец Мусашимару. На предыдущем турнире он уступил Таканахане. Теперь он тоже рассчитывает получить звание великого чемпиона. Его соперник Катабеппу, еще не получивший ни одного звания, но вполне достойно выступающий на этом турнире. Мусашимару, как дикий зверь, бросился в бой, но судья остановил схватку, потому что в пылу борьбы Мусашимару заступил за границу круга, и это не ускользнуло от зоркого взгляда судей. На дохио выходит великий чемпион Акибона. Его огромный рост 2 метра 3 сантиметра и вес 213 килограммов дает ему, как кажется, несравнимое преимущество перед соперниками. Но сегодня, видимо, не его день. Первое поражение в турнире. Первая ошибка, которая может сыграть, наверное, роковую роль. И вновь дохио подготавливают к выходу рикиши, разравнивая вениками песок, которым окружен священный круг. Каждый след на этом песке отчетливо виден. Наступать на песок категорически запрещено. Вокруг дохио присутствует 5 судей. Судейство в сумо отличается высокой строгостью, и споры с судьями абсолютно запрещены. Правила чрезвычайно просты. Не существует никакой сложной системы подсчета очков, и любому зрителю без лишних объяснений ясно и понятно все, что происходит на дохио. Рикиши, наступивший на песок, считается проигравшим. Также считается проигравшим тот, кто коснется глиняного помоста любой частью тела, кроме ступней ног. Акибона чуть было не коснулся дохио руками. Он всем весом наваливается на своего соперника, но они оба выкатываются за пределы круга. И определить, кто же победил в этой схватке, чрезвычайно непросто. В воздух летят подушки, на которых сидят зрители, а судьи, посовещавшись и сверившись с принятыми традициями из опасения их нарушить, назначили повторный матч. Незабываемое зрелище. Рикиши разозлен, и не на шутку, он с легкостью опрокидывает на пол своего соперника. Напрашивается только один вывод. Никогда не надо злить рикиши. 9-й день приносит нам следующие результаты. Таканахана продвигается к победе с завидным постоянством, не проигрывая ни одной схватки. А у остальных претендентов одинаковые результаты. По 7 побед и по 2 поражения. Устрашающие жесты по отношению друг к другу демонстрируют 2 гавайца – Азеки Мусашимару и Якадзуна Акибона. На 10-й день у них одинаковые шансы на победу. Конек Акибона – вес, а Мусашимару всегда берет своей напористостью. Как и сейчас. Он не дал удержать равновесие великому чемпиону Акибона и вытолкнул его за пределы круга. Для акибоно это уже третье поражение. Мусашимару же празднует 8-ю победу. Одна из отличительных особенностей сумо – отсутствие весовых категорий. Жизнь рикиши с раннего возраста подразумевает специальный культ питания, ведь не набрав соответствующего внушительного веса, добиться успеха будет весьма сложно. Но эти великаны, которые, вероятно, кажутся миниатюрным японцам божествами, все-таки в нашем современном представлении еще и настоящие спортсмены. И весовое превосходство в сумо решает далеко не все. Разница между этими спортсменами 174 килограмма. Но побеждает настоящая техника. Устал. Повалить такого титана совсем непросто. Ну, а Таканахана продолжает демонстрировать нам чудеса упорства. По завершении 12 дней состязаний на его счету 12 побед и ни одного поражения. Он как никто близок к победе. Напомню, что и на предыдущем сентябрьском турнире он не проиграл ни одной схватки. Вторую позицию пока занимает Мусашимару. 10 побед и 2 поражения. Подкорректировав перед схваткой свою великолепную прическу, он входит в круг. Сейчас он чувствует себя более уверенно, чем в первые дни состязаний, и он прогоняет своего соперника из круга. Таканахана смотрит на победу своего главного соперника, встреча с которым у него впереди, но на его непроницаемом лице не появляется и тени эмоций. Теперь его черед. 13-й день. Для кого это число станет счастливым, а для кого не очень, мы узнаем через несколько секунд. Но рикиши не торопится начинать схватку. Малейшее неправильное движение, и рикиши покинет дохио с позором. Таканахана вновь быстро и решительно кидается вперед. У его соперника практически не было шансов устоять против такого напора. 13-я победа Таканаханы. 3 года прошло с тех пор, как Таканахана впервые стал самым молодым обладателем Кубка Императора. Ему было всего лишь 19 лет. Через год он становится самым молодым азеки в истории. Сегодня, после этой встречи с гавайцем Мусашимару, Таканахана может реально стать самым молодым якадзуной за всю современную историю сумо. Если же победа в этой схватке достанется Мусашимару, то решающий поединок будет завтра. Таканахана. 13 побед, ни одного поражения. Он летит вперед со скоростью сверхзвукового самолета. И сможет ли Мусашимару остановить этот полет? Сейчас вы видите кадры предыдущего сентябрьского турнира, где Таканахана одержал таки победу над Мусашимару. Но что будет сегодня? Зал замер в ожидании решающего поединка. Обменявшись взглядами, рикиши расходятся, берут по горсточке риса и по традиции кидают ее в круг. Этот древний обычай, вероятно, успокаивает рикиши перед боем. Бойцы кидаются друг на друга. Таканахана тянется к поясу Мусашимару и выносит его за пределы круга. Посмотрите, как это было. Вся Япония встречает нового великого чемпиона якадзуну. Теперь ему предстоит встретиться в последний день состязаний с бывшим, теперь уже бывшим великим чемпионом акибоно. Новый, молодой, полный сил и энергии якадзуна Таканахана должен помериться силой со знаменитым чемпионом акебоно. Бывший великий чемпион не хочет покидать дохё в последний раз побежденным. Он положит все силы, чтобы остаться непобедимым. Буквально несколько сантиметров отделили Таканахану от победы. Акебоно пытается перекинуть его. Но совершенно поразительная устойчивость Таканаханы. Гигант акебоно не может с ним справиться. Схватка заходит в стратегический тупик. Кто же найдет достойный выход из этого положения? Таканахане не под силу сдвинуть огромного 213-килограммового акебоно. Он пытается его раскачать, обманывает его и одерживает свою 15-ю победу в 15-й день соревнований своего второго беспроигрышного турнира. Новый Якодзуна происходит из легендарной семьи Рикиши. Его дядя – знаменитый в Японии Якодзуна. Его отец – самый лучший озеки в истории сумо. Все 2 недели лицо Таканаханы было непроницаемым. Но теперь мне кажется, что оно просто лучится счастьем.
Hello and welcome to the famous Bercy Stadium in the centre of Paris for day 2 of the Tournoi de Paris, bringing the top 32 sumo wrestlers from Japan together in a unique competition that lasts over 3 days. If you were with us yesterday evening, you really would have seen some amazing action culminating in 2 of the grand champions in a cracking finale to an evening's sumo action. Well, as always, alongside myself, Nick Fellows, in the commentary box, Eurosport's resident sumo expert, Sid Hoare, the Vice President of the International Sumo Federation here in Europe. And Sid, once again, another treat in store. They've changed the working order or the draw for tonight's wrestling competitions, but as always, the traditional ritual ceremony before the wrestling begins.
Yes, as always, they start off with the introduction of the Makauchi, which is the top division, the Makauchi wrestlers. It's called the Makauchi Dohyo Iri, which is the entering of the dohyo. And they come in wearing these kesho moashi, the embroidered aprons, which are donated by patrons, rich corporations, patronesses, girlfriends, geisha girlfriends, etc., etc. They have any number of them because they've got a lot of patrons, and each one is worth a lot of money.
And you can see they're beautifully embroidered in gold and silver thread and braille. And it really is these formalized rituals and traditional etiquette that really do make this sport quite unique. It spans back some 3 centuries with a tremendous tradition, and it really is a delight for the European sports fans to be able to see these warriors in action. It's only the 7th time that the Sumo Tori has actually left Japan to compete outside of the areas where they normally hold their competitions in Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya and Fukuoka. And it really is a delight to also have the only 2 grand champions that are in existence in this unique sport in action here, live and exclusive to Eurosport coming up. And of course, Sid, what we're seeing now is not really just a procession for the benefit of the audience, but it really is a spiritual and traditional affair that is vital to the start of every competition.
Yes, they say that without the ceremony of sumo, there's no such thing as sumo. The ceremony is an integral part of it. The wrestlers here have turned in, clapped their hands, lifted their aprons. Rather quaint ceremony, but it used to be that they lifted their leg up high and stamped down. But with the numbers of wrestlers, of course, it's a bit difficult in the small ring. Almost everything connected with sumo has centuries-old traditions. Even minute things, such as how the referee holds his fan, whether he holds it with the flat of his hand up or whether he holds it with his thumb upwards. Everything is minutely detailed, and new referees have to learn these traditions and they cannot deviate from them.
But of course, the leading roles in the Doho Iri are reserved for the Yokozuna. These are the grand champions, and Sid, these really are the superstars. They're not just the biggest, but they have really worked hard to earn this right, and Japan really does treat them like national heroes.
Well, there's no doubt about it, they're superstars in Japan. They say it takes 1 in 500 wrestlers to reach the rank below Yokozuna, which is Ozeki. And then of the Ozeki, maybe 1 in 2, 1 in 3 go through to Yokozuna. It's the ranks up to just below Yokozuna on a sliding scale. If you win, you keep on moving up, and if you're exceptional, then maybe one day you become Yokozuna and you keep that rank, whatever your results. But if as an Ozeki you start to fail, well, you slide back down the ladder again. It's a tough world.
These are the Ozeki that we see now. I'm jumping the gun, the big men coming last of all, and the Ozeki are almost the guys that are just 1 level below before the superstars of the sport come through. And Ozeki is a grade that can be lost, I'm told, Sid. You can be an Ozeki, a champion, and then be demoted. Rather, if you get the status of grand champion, then you're never demoted. You're just asked to, quite proudly or sadly, whatever the case may be, but to say face and honor, you're made to retire.
Yeah. The Ozeki, they do give a little bit of leeway, because if they have a bad championship result, they're not immediately demoted. It takes a couple of bad championship results before they start to slide down again. It takes, according to the rules, you have to have 2 successive tournament wins as an Ozeki to qualify as a Yokozuna, but incredibly, very few of the sumo champions ever get 2 successive tournament wins. That is to say, winning the tournament, beating all the other wrestlers in that particular tournament.
And to put it in perspective of these grand champions, since the 17th century, only 65 sumo wrestlers have been awarded the grade of Yokozuna, and they are a very special breed indeed. You may be thinking right now that these are a bunch of slightly overweight softies, and we've had a lot of calls after yesterday's program wanting more explanation. Well, our expert here can assure you, and you will see later on in this program, that these gentlemen are not soft at all. It's not a show. It's not like the dramatized wrestling that we've become familiar with from American television. These are very serious professional fighters, and they really do carry a very strong and powerful movement indeed. There's a very interesting story that my Dutch colleague was telling me before the start of this, that to put the sumo to the test, one of these guys was put up against an American football player on a defense player. The defense player came in at about 6'6" and came in at about 30 stone. Thus the equivalent of the sumo wrestler. The sumo wrestler put the linebacker down in under 30 seconds. Didn't stand a chance. To cut a long story short, they are very professional and also very tough fighters.
They eat a lot, because the main technique in sumo is pushing the other fella out the ring. It helps if you're heavy, and so they make a point of eating a lot of food and putting on extra weight. But at the same time, they train very hard every day, so they're They're super fit athletes, but they're overweight athletes. Seems a contradiction in terms, but they are strong and they are fit.
Sid explained to us, these are the grand champions. Akebono is the Yokozuna, one of the great stars, actually from Hawaii and a former American citizen. But he also has this entourage with him as well as going through the ritual and ceremony.
Yes, when the Yokozuna makes his entry, he has on the one side his sword bearer, the katana mochi, and on the other side the dew wiper, the tsuyu harai. And the sword is symbol of the Yokozuna's samurai status. Years ago, when the feudal lords, the daimyo, were patrons of the sumo wrestlers, not all the sumo wrestlers were of samurai status, but when they went up the ranks and they reached the top level, then they became samurai. And the holding of the sword there, the Japanese sword, is symbolic of that. Of course, the samurais were abolished over 100 years ago, but the old traditions, of course, in sumo are kept intact.
And those traditions go back some 1,500 years, with records of this ancient sport taking place, and even further back in Japanese legend.
Those white zigzag strips you see under the big white belt there, they hang in front of the Shinto shrines. They're called gohei, and that marks off sacred Shinto territory. Said that there are two styles of this performance, this Yokozuna Dohyo Iri. There's the Shiranui style and there's the Unryu style. And Akebono seems to be doing the Unryu style, which is one hand on the chest, which you'll see shortly, and one arm outstretched. Akebono, 35 stone, American. It's won 11 basho, and is the top Yokozuna against Takano Hana. This is where the big interest lies. When these two men meet at the end of every basho, virtually the whole of Japan comes to a standstill.
And we've had an amazing response, even on the telephone here at the Eurosport Paris studios. And one has to say, many thanks for the call from Colin Cooper with a quick question for Sid. And he's asked, why do they choose their names? Because they're not their actual real names, but they're their fighting names. And is it true that they take part of the names from the past champions, Sid?
There are various ways they can take a name. Sometimes the wrestlers don't change their name at all. There was one famous wrestler called Wajima who kept his name all the way through, and that was his original name. More often than not, they take an element of a previous famous champion's name, and the stable keeps that tradition going. So, for example, in the Futagoyama stable, which is headed by Takano Hana, who we see now here, the word Taka or the word Hana features in their wrestlers' names.
Well, it's thanks to Colin Cooper for his phone call, and if any other of our sumo fans out there have any questions for our expert Sid Hoare, or would just like to inquire any more about the sport here in Europe, perhaps you'd like to get involved, then please don't hesitate to drop Sid or myself a line at the Eurosport offices, 55 Drury Lane, London, and we will get back to you with any questions you may have. This, of course, is the grand champion who was defeated by the great Akebono in last night's final, and he'll be looking for revenge. And an indication of the strength, that knotted braid around his waist there comes in at around about 25 to 35 pounds. And the referees also specially chosen to be able to referee a Yokozuna match. So the ceremonies and rituals before the start of every sumo have successfully been done, and now the big men will prepare for this evening's competition. 32 in a straight knockout competition, and round about 10:45 p.m. this evening we'll be left with the two big men to claim tonight's competition prize. We'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with all the fight action in just a short while. Welcome back to the Bercy Stadium for day 2 of the sumo competition that actually goes over 3 days here. 3 days competition with the scores added together to give us the Tornai champion of 1995. The last time these giants were in Europe was 1986, which was such a great success. It's actually taken them 9 years to get them all back, and it was almost a complete whitewash and disaster after a fire in the airport cargo hall destroyed all the traditional dress and aprons, and it's thanks to Japanese airlines flying out a complete new set of gear to make sure that each and every one of the important ceremonies and rituals before every sumo competition can take place were able to be performed. These are some of the slow motion pictures of the action before, and we are now awaiting the first of the 16 competitions. 32 start off in the first round, then we split them down to 16, 8, 4, 2, and then the big final. And if the form book gets its way, we will more than likely see the grand champions in that last wrestle or fight off. Sid, these guys do a lot of training. They are professionals. They earn a lot of money, but what do they do to get themselves to this state and at this type of preparation? Because they do have to actually perform 6 times at home as well as here in Europe as well.
Training starts in the stables. They have these 50 stables in Japan where they train full-time in almost medieval conditions. They have to do exactly as they're told, and training when they're young wrestlers starts at 5 in the morning or even earlier, and then as the morning wears on, the slightly higher ranked wrestlers come in, and training tends to be, apart from the warming up exercises and a certain amount of technical training, tends to be winner stays on. So it's tough for the young ones coming through because they go out and they fight a wrestler, and if they lose, back they go, but the winning wrestler stays on. So everything is geared to pushing the successful through and helping the top wrestlers. But the training is 2 hours and or more. Quite often the keen wrestlers will, knowing that they're not going to get too much fighting if they keep on losing, they'll come in the stable earlier in the morning, maybe 4 a.m. even. The keen young ones will go in there very early and train amongst themselves to get that extra edge. And this, of course, is highly appreciated by the Japanese and encouraged.
And of course, not many people realize that they are professionals, and highly paid professionals at that.
Yes, the money starts to come in from what they call the Juryo division and upwards. It's then that they get status and rank and they get salary. So you have the Makuuchi division at the top, which is the Yokozuna, the Ozeki, Sekiwaki, Musubi, and Maigashira. And under the Maigashira is the Juryo rank, and it's the Juryo wrestlers who start to get paid. Under that, they just get a monthly allowance. Their food and lodging is taken care of. And of course, they have fans and they have patrons. But from that Juryo rank onwards, then the money really starts to flow in. They get, Yokozuna will get maybe £13,000 a month, but on top of that, he will have wealthy patrons, fan clubs, fans donating money, tournament wins. The sources of revenue for a Yokozuna are endless, and nobody really knows how much money they make, but certainly it's in the millions, and I'm talking pounds.
And there is many a rumor about this competition that they are multimillionaires, the 2 grand champions here. There are 890 professionals currently registered, and only 20 of them are non-Japanese. So it's kind of tough, Sid, if you're not sort of part of that tradition, to break into the sumo world.
Normally, to get into the sumo, you start as a young boy. You have to finish middle school education. They won't take you before that. And then you go in a stable at 15 or 16. And life is tough because you're at the bottom of the heap and you have to clean out the lavatories and do the cooking and scurry around. You're up first, you're in bed last. It's a tough life. But if you stick it, then you move up the ladder because there's other younger ones coming in behind you, and then you can start, if you're a 2nd year or 3rd year or 4th year student, trainee, you can start giving the younger ones a hard time. So they say it's the first year in sumo which is the toughest. If you can stick out the first year, then life gets marginally easier.
Well, the competition's about to begin. The sumo ring, which we see now, is called the doyo, and it takes its name from the straw rice bag, which marks out its different parts. The greater portion of each bale is firmly buried into the earth. The doyo itself is around about 18 feet square, 2 feet high, and is constructed of a special kind of clay. The hard surface is covered then with a thin layer of sand. The bout itself is confined to an inner circle, a little over 15 feet in diameter. We'll give you that in metric in a little while. And over the dohyo, suspended from the ceiling by cables, is a roof resembling a Shinto shrine, with 4 giant tassels hanging from each corner, and these signify the seasons of the year. The bout is won by forcing the opponent out of the inner circle or throwing him in the dohyo. To lose the match, it is not necessary to fall in the inner circle or to be pushed completely out. So it's quite simple, really. You've either got to put him on the floor or you've got to push him out the circle. As we begin with one of the big names, the Noble Flower and Ozeki Grand Champion Takanohana, Yokozuna, I should say. The 23-year-old, top of the rank, second yesterday. So from the Futugomaya stable, Futogoyama stable, and he's up against Kitakachidoki and Mai Gashishira, so much lower, 1m83, 145, similar height and weight, but the quality of performer is much more with Takanohana, the man on the left of the screen here. You'll see him now, 1m85. And he really is a huge star in Japan. It is so difficult to imagine how well known this performer is.
Kitakachidoki on the right there, he's Maegashira rank, not too high. He's been up and down the Maegashira listings, been in the Makuuchi division, the top division, for a long time. He's had nearly 1,000 bouts, which makes him very experienced, but he's never really hit the high spots. He's 29 years old. As with most of these wrestlers, once they get near 30, he's married, he's got a couple of sons, and he's a somewhat easygoing character, but he's big, he's strong, he's experienced. But I fear that Takanohana here will handle him without too much trouble.
And away they go. Takanohana, of course, the big favourite, gets off to a bit of a slow start, and this really will be an upset if Takanohana goes out here. Oh, seemed to be a toe out. Now Takanohana takes control. And out he goes.
Well, that was a slack bout, if I may say so. It looked to me like Kitakachidoki had Takanohana on the run and thought, well, hold on, I can't beat the Grand Champion first match. And he eased off. I might be wrong, but it looks suspiciously like that.
Well, one hopes that it's not all being construed for the television, but I can only agree with you there, Sid. He really was slow off his mark. This is a slow-mo of Kitakachidoki being disposed of, but one feels that he, well, maybe he did think he was going to spoil the competition a bit too soon.
Yes, Yorikiri win there. Takanohana wins with Yorikiri. The number one technique, the number one winning technique, which is force out. If he lifts him up high, it becomes suridashi, but if it's just a push out, belt, 2 hands on the belt and push out, it's a yorikiri.
So into the second bout in the first round, Oginishiki, Maegashira, 1m84, 142 on the left of your screens. Hamanoshima is on the right. Again, 2 wrestlers of similar grade, height and weight.
These two, Maegashira rank, foot soldiers, as it were, of the top division, but mind you, to get that far, you've got to fight through nearly 900 wrestlers, so pretty tough characters. Good solid sumo physiques, not too fat, both weighing in around the 21, 22 stone mark, slightly under the average. They've both won some of the top prizes. Each tournament has 3 prizes going: a fighting spirit prize, Kanto Sho, or a Gino Sho, which is the technique prize, or the Shukun Sho, which is the outstanding performer prize. So both of these have won prizes, and anything is possible. Hamanoshima is a top amateur sumo player, went into sumo at about the age of 20, very quickly went through the ranks. Only hasn't been in the Makuuchi division very long, since 1994. But before that, did a lot of sumo.
Well, the traditional throwing in and the salt to pure purify and keep evil spirits at bay. They're not quite ready yet, the referee. 6 of them here, known as the Gyoji.
Now the referee, if it's time to go, he'll say Jikandes, time to go, and he'll turn his fan flat on towards the camera. Yes, flat on the fan, that means they're going to go. Good tachi-ai start. They crashed into each other, both put a lot into it, and straight into Yotsu Sumo, 2 hands on the belt. But Hamanoshima hoisted him high, Tsuri Dashi, and dropped him outside.
Hamanoshima goes through to the 2nd round, where he will meet the grand champion Takanohana.
The losing wrestler retires from the ring very quickly. There you see 4 hands on, strong underhand grip. There's the underhand grip, the strong inside grip, which is strong. Hamanoshima lifting him high over the edge, depositing him on the outside.
Well, this special cry is announcing that the next bout is Koto no Waka, a Kombasubi grade, which is the 4th highest grade, up against Taisho Ho.
Taisho Ho, in his time, was also Kombasubi rank. He's slipped down now to 10th ranking Maigashira. So he's got the possibility. He's had the previous experience of being 3rd from the top. The names are called out twice before at the beginning of the bout. First of all, the Yobidashi calls the name out, and then the referee, who we see now in the silk kimono, he calls the names out as well. And a high-pitched kabuki-style voice, kabuki theatre voice, which carries a long way. The wrestlers, when they go through their pre-fight rituals, they scoop the salt out from the salt buckets at the edge of the ring and they scatter it in. And this signifies, or this purifies the ring. The wrestlers themselves are meant to synchronize their movements, especially the pre-fight movements. And then they crouch down. This is the shikiri crouch down. And quite often when they get up from the shikiri, they'll stare each other out, the so-called nirami eye. In the tournament yesterday, we saw some very good stare-outs, especially by the Hawaiian sumo men. Seems to be their speciality.
Koto no Waka, the favourite, is on the left of your screens. Taisho Ho on the right.
As you can tell from the noise of the fans, the signs are that this is it, they're going to go for real. And this adds to the tension, the rising tension of the pre-fight rituals.
Indication is there from the referee.
And Taisho Ho wins. There was a mix of sumo attacks there, putties, slapping attacks to the face, the neck, the upper body. But in the end, Koto no Waka won.
And the higher grade wrestler going through, Koto no Waka.
There you see the slapping under the throat. The other man trying to counter the arms.
Mizugi Sato will be the next wrestler up against Koto no Inazuma. But here again the slow-mo, and it is simply the first one to step outside of the ring or any part of the body, other than the soles of the feet, to touch the ground inside the ring. On the left of your screens is Mizugi Sato, 1.85 meters in height, comes in at 157 kilograms. Koto no Inazuma, similar size, 1.81 meters, a little lighter at 136 kilograms, both of the same grade, Maegashira.
They're both old-timers in this top division. They're both over 30. Mizugi Sato is 33 years old. He's had nearly 1,150 bouts in top pro sumo. And Koto Inazuma also just under 1,200 bouts. In the Makuuchi division, they've had many bouts. Koto Inazuma, for example, has fought 500-600 times in that division. Very experienced men. Mizugi Sato at one point reached Komusubi rank, his highest rank. Now both of them at Maegashira. There you see, seems to be quite a lot of sand in the ring, more than as usual, and they're sweeping the sand off the start lines, the Shikiri-sen. From the moment that the Yobidashi calls out the names, these top wrestlers are allowed something like 4 minutes of pre-fight rituals. But when the 4 minutes is up, the referee says, or one of the judges indicates to the referee that time's up, and then they have to go. There's no hanging about. One of the reasons that they crouch down so low is that because one of the main techniques in sumo is pushing the other person out of the ring, it helps if you can get lower than the other fellow. So if you can get, as it were, an angle underneath him and push up, then you can shove him out. And for some of the British guys, when they fought Japanese sumo wrestlers, they say they come in underneath. They can't do anything about them, and out they go pretty quick. Time's up. Lovely win there with Suridashi. Hoisted him high, twisted him round, dumped him out.
Mizugi Sato with an excellent throw under pressure. It looked like he would be the first one pushed out, but managing to lift his opponent, turn him around, and out he goes.
Takes a sip of Chikara Mizu there, power water. Hoists the man up, 25 stone, and drops him outside. There you see from above, pushing the stomach in, both men pushing the stomach in, but Mizugi Sato counters with a lift of his own and takes the bout.
Well, on to the next bout, and one of big stars, an Ozeki, a champion, is Musashi Maru up against Kazuga Fuji and Maegashira. So a former on the left of your screens, 1.90 meters and 196 kilograms, a very, very big man indeed, knocked out in the semi-finals in yesterday's competition by Akibono, who went on to win last night. So the form book says that this man should really dispose of Kazuga Fuji with ease, and these is one of the men that you were talking about, Sid, with one of those demon-like stares.
Oh yes, it'll be interesting to see when they come up from their first shikiri, the first crouch down, and subsequent ones, to look at his face and see whether he regards this his opponent as much opposition. I think when they feel they've got a tough fight on, then they stare. Musashi Maru is considerably bigger, as you can see there on the left. He's 9-10 stone, heavier than Kazuga Fuji. Very strong, comes out, uses his weight very successfully, and just barrels the other man straight out the ring. This is his speciality. Ski or oshi is his technique. Ski is to thrust out, oshi to push out. You can thrust the fellow out, get a bit of impetus, you can send him flying out of the ring, and oshi, if you can nudge him out the ring. The Kazuga Fuji, similar techniques, Not noted as a thrower. Of course, they've got a wide range of techniques, but the record book shows what they tend to win with more than other techniques. And they're both thrusters, tsukiyoshi men.
Well, this will be the last time. Once again, the ring is purified with the salt, driving out any bad demons. 60 kilograms in weight advantage and a much higher grade for this man, Musashimaru. And Kazuga Fuji on the right. The blue belt, the man to watch.
And there you see an example of a push-out. 30 stone, 31 stone, pushing out 21 stone. Musashimaru receives the Kachinanori, the declaration of the victory.
Easily goes through to the last 16, and this was the style and technique that this big man demonstrated with great effect yesterday evening, and I'm sure he'll be looking for a spot in the final tonight. An interesting bout next. Tearo up against Kenko. Now, Kenko was the man who made the quarter-finals here yesterday and really was quite an impressive performer. Both of the Maegashira level or grade, but Sid, two quite skillful fighters here, very much on the up in this sport.
Definitely. Terao's been in the top ranks for a long time. He's not a heavy fighter, but he's a whirlwind attacker. He's a great favorite of the Japanese. He comes out like a maniac. He uses his speed to replace his lightweight. And he's been up the ranks. He's been up as high as Sekiwaki. He's knocked out in his time 6 Yokozuna. He's won many prizes, outstanding player prize, fighting spirit prizes, technique prizes. He's done just about everything in sumo except take Yokozuna rank. He's getting on a wee bit now for us as a sumo man. He's 32. Probably not got too much longer in the ranks. But very interestingly, at the previous basho, Terao's his wife has just had a young son, and when he did the dohyo iri, he brought his young son in, kitted out in a sumo outfit, and the crowd went wild. They loved it. I think probably it's the first time, as far as I know, that a young boy's been brought into the ring like that. Great favorite of the Japanese.
Well, there, Kenko in the green belt. Some just under 30 kilograms heavier. You can clearly see the weight advantage to the Japanese green belt fighter. 1.91 m, also taller. He did very well yesterday. Terao has light, he's quick, really quite agile. As you can see, moves quickly.
A lot of slapping attacks there. Both men replying slap for slap, but Kenko gets it at the end. I think it was a case there of youth, slightly younger man, similar sort of style of sumo, coming through against the older, slightly lighter sumo fighter. Lots of turning, twisting, pushing, open-handed, pushing sumo, and then a final twist to take Terao down to inside the ring. There you go. Kata Tsukashi, caught him under the shoulder, spun him over.
Another win for Kenko. He's doing well. See if he can go further than the quarterfinals, which was the level he reached in yesterday evening's competition. Asahi Yutaka and Higono Umi, the next two fighters. Again, Similar height, similar build. This should be quite an even match, both of the same grade. Both wrestlers Maegashira, as you can see, the biggest of that very nice graphic, being the equivalent to the Yokozuna, and the smallest being the Maegashira. Not the smallest in true sumo terms, but the smallest for the top 40 fighters that have been brought over here from Japan for this special competition in the Bercy Stadium, France.
As Nick said, as you said, Nick, they're very evenly matched. Weight, age, ranking, difficult to choose between the two of them. They both do much the same techniques. Belt sumo, both hidari yotsumen, which is to say they stand left side on with their stronger arm, the left arm on the inside on the belt. So there's no clash of sides there. They should fit in nicely, but they also do the yori, that's the nudge out at the side, and they're both throwers as well. Wate nagi and just the ordinary throws. So, interesting to see. On the right, Higonoumi is a top amateur graduate, came through from the amateur ranks. Generally reckoned to be a little bit more shrewd in the ring, but we shall see. Time's up.
That's the Yutaka, and the Doka belt on the left. Hikonomi on the green gets a good start. Oh, and the slip maybe on the sand there. Sid, you were saying earlier that it seems to be a little too much, and, well...
Yes, Hikonomi won there. I think it is slippery. They do seem to have a lot of sand on there. I don't know quite why they've left it there. They can sweep it away if they want. There you see the left hand on, the strong grip. And then Wate nagi, upper arm throw, twisting over to his left. There's the left arm over, pushing the man, and then changing from push to twist and spilling him over.
Hikonoumi goes through to the second round as we come to the last bout in the first draw. Asanowaka, a Maegashira, 1m75, 149 kilograms, up against Noble Wave. Takanonami made the quarterfinals yesterday evening, a bigger and heavier man, 1m97, 160 kilos, and has the grade of Ozeki, a champion. So the form book says that the fighter or the wrestler on the right of your screens as this bout should be with ease.
Yes, Takanonami, as you say, is one grade from the top. He's an Ozeki, but he's yet to win a tournament. And if he wants to go higher than Ozeki, well, he's got to get two tournament wins at least under his belt. Even if he gets 2 tournament wins, there's no guarantee, because he has to be of the right character to become a Yokozuna. At one point, Konishiki was knocking on the door of Yokozuna rank, but for some reason the sumo elders decided that he wasn't their man, and unfortunately he slid down. Although Akibono from Hawaii eventually did become Yokozuna. On the cards here, it looks like Takanonami, the Ozeki, should handle the Asanowaka fairly easily, but it's a slippery surface, and it does make a considerable difference. Slightly lower